we have again a quiz at the beginning. That was a very unusual bird sighting in where our office is, because it is an alpine bird, we can say that much, and we are not in an alpine area, but we are bordering an alpine area, and it's recently very cold. So we're gonna have the solution to the quiz at the end. So it's a very lovely and colorful bird, but really rare, really rare.
Elena might have seen one this morning.
Maybe a female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
saw a female.
So we were discussing, because it's very unusual to see this bird here, but I also saw it on the weekend, and that's why we put it in here. It's the first time that I actually saw it. Good, 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 good. So sighting confirmed. All right. Yeah, we have a lot of new things on the ARK side, and we have a lot of new things actually also on the GreenStep side. So this is why we continue to share everything that we develop in the library. And that's why we start with the library function. But let me first go to the overview. So today, we're gonna have the library search function as a first feature. It was sort of overdue, since we have now 12 pages of best practices. We have added a lot in summer, and we recently have added some substantial, actually more workshops or courses, and it was not really possible, apart from the filters, to search for them. So Gloria is going to present this. Then we have a new way to display the courses. That was a sort of, yeah, not really a problem, but the courses were always on top. And now we have a new way to show them in the right position, in the chronological order. That's a very nice feature. And then we go back to what we showed already in the last call in December. The next 3 points, Lucas is going to show new functionalities in regard to the quest. There is a dashboard. There is the possibility to print BFG cards. And the absolute, of course, prime functionality during this call is that we have a new functionality that enables people to navigate to any mapped specimen. And this is going to be a very, very, I think, powerful functionality of the ARK. And connected to this, it will be also possible, or it is possible, to navigate to activities. So connected to this is the new setting of the activity location. That's the last point. So really a lot of new functionalities. And I would say we get going with the library search function. I hand over to Gloria.
Yeah, so I will share my screen. Okay, so let's see, best practice. Sure, like right now we're into the library, and as you see, like, so we have right now we have a lot of new best practices and a lot of new and old ones as well. I think I've counted them more or less yesterday. Now we are all on the same page, but we had something like 11 pages of best practices, and there were something like 110 or a bit more probably. And we are keeping creating new ones. So right now we are actually working on those Big Friendly Giant workshops. We are making 10 of them in order to enable people to to start with their own Big Friendly Giants route. And we made the first like the number 3, 4, and 5. We are working on the 6 recently. And we can quickly go through, for example, the workshop number 4 about the ecosystem services, which I enjoyed very much creating last few weeks. And in those workshops, for example, in this about ecosystem services, you get somehow all the information you need to know to make, let's say, classes in a school, but also in other type of communities. So you have fact sheets that explain the subject, and you also have worksheets and solutions for them. And this should be facilitated in something like 10 hours. Actually, 10 hours is comprehensive of both with worksheets and the fact sheet. So it's like the presentation, but also the assignment. And you can see this in this type of in this summer schedule. Like you're gonna have something like 4 classes and all the exercises that needs to be done. And so into the facilitation part, yeah, you can see exactly like how many lessons you need to do, which assignment will be given. And then you can, of course, find all the assignments down here. So here are both the facilitation slide and the worksheet in languages like in English and German. And this is a map of all the 10 workshops that we are slowly creating. And ecosystem services is actually here, somehow middle way. And so, well, if you're curious to read more about, for example, this one or our workshop, you can, of course, enter in the library and download some products. Yeah. But what I want to show is actually, yes, so the functionalities, the new functionalities that we have is exactly this search button, very simple one, but super useful. So for example, next week we are gonna have a plastic pirates event. I can just write plastic, yeah, it's here. So I can click on the recent one. And from here, we create a new activity for next week. I think this is enough for this functionality.
Okay, so then I take over, sharing my ARK. Give me a second. So here it is. So this was basically, if we go back to the main navigation menu, about the library functionality, which really increasingly, especially in a school setting, is very central. Teachers want to look up things easily and conveniently. But then we have also a smaller but very important functionality in the activities menu. So if we click here on activities, in the past, we always had courses listed on the very top. If they have started at the beginning of a year, or beginning of a term, they always stayed on top. And if you had launched like 3-4 courses, then it was basically not possible to display other single events properly. And Lucas has found a great solution here. So basically, the courses drop now into the right chronological order, always with the next session. Yeah. So let's take, for example, this genuine growth film course. You see here in small print that the next session is session 7. And it's on October 5th, 2023. I don't know why I have this here on October 2023, but the session is mentioned here. The course, this is the total running time, no?
Mhm.
That you see here on the right side. But the next session is on January 25th. And you see this is the right slot that it should have. In the past, it was always on top. It was always on top, and that was a bit confusing. So a small feature, but nonetheless, quite a cool feature that makes it easier to navigate in the activities. All right, that was it from my side. And now back to Lucas. No, not back to Lucas. It's handing over to Lucas.
All right. Hi, guys. So we've been working on a bunch of things. There was a big change under the hood of the ARK that you hopefully will not see. We changed the build system and we upgraded a bunch of backbone libraries. But what I'm going to show to you right now is what we've been working together with Sonia, and that's additional functionalities about the quests. So we created a dashboard for the quests, which allows you to see some statistics about it and to manage the quest, like print the QR codes that you hang on the trees and print the collectible cards. So I'm going to share my screen and let's have a look at it. So share. Okay, can you see my screen now? Your screen is loading.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
see it yet.
Still take some time.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm using a different computer. Use system window capture. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to share just one window. Oh, but that's not the one that I want to share, sorry. The technical issues here. I want to share my Firefox. How about now?
Something coming. We need to still wait, I think. Yes.
Okay. That was drum rolls. Good. So right now we can see in the St. Pölten Commons, which is the place where we are in Austria, all the quests. So the so-called self-guided routes or routes that people can play on their own by scanning QR codes on the trees. So let's have a look at how the new dashboard looks like. I'm going to choose one of the more popular routes, I think, which is the Sonnenpark quest. There is a new wrench on the top right that brings us into the dashboard. So on the top card, there is some basic overview about the quest. That's the same as the visitors can see. And then we've got two tabs. We've got stats and tools. In the stats, we can see some basic info about what's happening in that quest. So we can see how many impact points have been generated through that quest, through observing the trees or answering the quizzes, how many specimens have been observed in that quest by all the people together. We can see the average progress that the people have made, which means by average, people who have started the quest, how many stops have they finished. And then we can see the ratings, which people can give to the creators of the quest or to the quest. We can see the average, and we can see the last 3 ratings and all the ratings. Seems like the Sonnenpark quest is extremely interesting. Gloria had a lot of fun. Okay, so this information, we were asking people for it, but we had no way to actually view it, so we are filling in the blank in here. Good. So we came up with a bunch of other interesting things that we could show from the data, but that's what we have for now. And let's have a look at the tools tab, where we can see all the stops with the specimens that are on this stop. And we can do 3 things. We can get the QR code. We can just directly edit the stop, and we can get the collectible card if we want to print it. So let's have a look at the QR code. For each stop, we can get a code that the players use to access the content of the stop. And we say it must be placed at the visible spot, ideally on the tree. So that's what we do. We take this QR code, we put it into a nice design, we print it, we laminate it, and we hang it on the tree, where then people who follow the quest with the phone, with the map, and scan the QRs stop by stop and answer the quizzes. So this is where you can get the link to generate your own QR, or just get this QR code. From here, you can download it by right-clicking on it and save it. Yeah, so there was also a missing part. And last but not least, the second thing is the editing. that just brings you directly into editing the content of that stop. So basically editing the quiz in here. And the third one is the collectible card. So by clicking here, you can get the printable card for that stop. You have a preview. If you just need a low res, you can make a screenshot in here. Otherwise, you click download and it takes some seconds and you're gonna get a very big picture that is good for high resolution printing. It's downloaded and I get it in here. And I think that I'm actually only sharing the Chrome window, so I cannot easily, I can open it in Firefox. Yeah, so that's the picture that I got that you can then use to print the collectible card. Yeah, so that's about the functionalities that we have for the managers of quests. And what's next? Can you give me a hint?
Yes, of
what is
course. The next thing would be navigate to specimens.
Right. Yeah. So okay, this is no problem. For navigating the specimens, and it's actually not only for the specimens, but for all the things that have location on the ARK, we came up with a very simple thing in the map view of where the specimen is, with a button open in map. So if you wanted to, in the past, navigate to a specimen or anything that you found on the ARK, you would have to copy the GPS location, open the map, and paste it there and search. What we do now is we have this button here. You click open in map. And if you are on a desktop or on a computer, it gets open directly in Google Maps. If you are on your phone, then it opens in the default map application that you are using, and you can directly navigate to it. So I'm right now very far from this tree, so I'm not gonna try it, but you would find the location, you would find the route that you need to take to reach this tree. And that's coming together with another functionality that we will be working on, and that is observing the trees actually even without scanning a QR code on the tree. So that's what we have in the pipeline for the next release, which means for any tree on the ARK, you could navigate to it using this function. And when you arrive, open the ARK, and the ARK knows that you are close to that specimen, and basically allows you to collect it into your profile through location services.
Similar like a GPS waypoint.
Sorry, Hans, can you repeat?
Similar like a GPS waypoint with navigation systems. So you go follow the route, and the system realize when you have arrived at a certain waypoint, a certain specimen.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the idea. Basically, we don't want to be printing the QR codes for all the trees, and I think Knut said that we got feedback that QR codes are ugly and they look in nature, and there are too many QR codes everywhere. Of course, they have advantage for us or for anyone that if you are just running by chance into the tree, then maybe you scan the QR code, right? But if you are already playing the game, playing the quest, and then there is actually no need for the QRs, and we can just determine which quiz to show you from the location.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Knut, yeah?
Yeah, I would just do a little recap, and then we can talk a bit more why we have developed this.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Then I share the recap slide. see if this works properly. Do you see my screen?
We're good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the library search was really important for us to make it easier for users and teachers to find best practices and work with keywords, no? Because this is quite important. If I tell somebody, hey, we have this great best practice for, I don't know, building a birdhouse, they will enter bird. It makes it easier. But currently we only have the filters. If you have other ideas, like for additional filters or like learning paths, the idea is that we have just kickstarted this. So we really need to have more feedback on making it even more interesting to use the library. Then the navigate to specimen, please.
I have a question here. Because I mean, I really miss this functionality. It's really great that now this is a search function, especially as the content is growing, more people are using it. And search is also something which is commonly used for email systems. And I'm using the Thunderbird email client, maybe some of you as well. And it has kind of a two-level search functionality. On one hand, it has a full text search, just as you have, but it has also a quick search function. That means, so if you're searching for, let's say, clover or a certain tree specimen, and then it shows you a whole list of activities which have that name somehow in, so it shows up. But it would be very practical if there were also quick filters for a certain person or a certain school or a certain location, kind of drill down filters.
Like a favorite list? Because this is what we discussed before. Is this like a favorite list or different?
No, if you have used the search function, you're getting the output of the search, a whole list. And maybe there is just one or two, then you will find what you need. But maybe if it's still 20 or 30 or more, it would be practical to have a predefined search. For example, location, person, specimen, or to have another search within that search result. And I know that sounds a bit complex, but in fact, for example, you can look at the system of Thunderbird, which is very user-friendly and very fast for power users, and also, I think, kind of useful even for people who are not so technology affine, to kind of further limit down the search result.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I kind of know what you mean. Like basically selecting in which kind of information you would like to search, right?
Yeah, and it's not meant as a critic. Having the search function as you already have implemented it, I mean, that's already 70 to 80% of what is needed. But just as an idea, if it needs to be further refined in case if you suddenly go from hundreds to thousands and 10,000s of users with a lot of activities, then I guess it would be useful to make use of this quick filter functionality on top of the search.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. Yeah, so the second big topic, I jumped the new form of displaying the course. I skipped that, but navigate to specimen is a very powerful functionality that we have been discussing already also for a while. So you can basically start from anywhere. It's important to kickstart new commons, and when you are not like we here we have mapped like, I don't know, more than 400 trees now. We know where to go. We talk about a tree and we almost know where to go because we have it in our mind. But if you really need to start from nothing, yeah, and I have many applications in my mind, then it would be great to be able to navigate to a specific tree. And this enables you to explore nature monuments. It enables us to connect what we have already working with the ARK to national nature monument databases. And we have already imported several hundreds of nature monuments of Lower Austria into the ARK. And now basically in all of Lower Austria, people could say, if I want to start such a route, if I want to start this big friendly giants project, I just navigate to my first tree. And from there, maybe you observe others, you can build this Internet of Nature. So I think it's a very important kickstarting feature. And it is very important also as an alternative to the QR tags. Because as Lucas mentioned, we have received from the city where we are active the feedback that they don't like the plastic QR tags on public trees. And then we have an alternative to move forward with the purpose of this game. Anything in regard to navigate to specimens? Any feedback? Okay. Yeah, then the third big part is this quest dashboard. This really is what we already started to show in the December call. This helps to gamify place-based education. We can create the quest with an intuitive interface. We get the QR code and the URL for each stop, and which is important then also to have this, we are hunters and collectors. The BFG cards is basically what you collect, no? You can print in a very decentralized manner in any school, whoever participates, you can print those cards. And it's even a nice souvenir, I would say. That's the summary of today.
Yeah, another very impressive progress. And I feel that the ARK can now do so many things and doing it so well. It's really so much more than an app. It's really almost a holistic system for nature-based education. And I wonder how the ARK can be explained in just a few sentences to someone who never has heard about, because I increasingly want to get people knowing about it, and I sometimes struggle a bit to how to best pitch it in a very brief but convincing way, to not without overburden people with information. Maybe Knut and I, we should discuss about it afterwards. But it's really a fantastic solution you have been building. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, I know I struggle now since quite a while with the same issue, and it's not easy. I mean, what we do now, also to answer this immediately, what we do now is for the school setting to not explain too much, but just tell people this is a solution for place-based education. It's a course, it takes a year, and you have several workshops. So we built those workshops for the school, and in each workshop, I mean, Gloria has been showing the library. In each workshop, we have a different content. So we break it down into smaller pieces, and there are worksheets, there's a presentation, there are practical exercises, and the focus is basically that we just say, what is the result? What is the result, the outcome of this project? It is more nature connection. It is that we built together this Internet of Nature. It is that there are gamified routes now, gamified routes in the outdoors that the children build themselves, and it should empower them to really become sort of city rangers. I mean, it's mainly focusing still on youth, and that's a gist. But yes, the communication part is still not very complete. I agree.
Yeah, what I say nowadays when people ask me about it, I say it's like an app to gamify nature education, to bring people from their smartphone screens into nature and learn about it. It's like it's my short version.
Okay.
Or like school context.
Yeah, so I don't know actually if I have shared this earlier. I'm sharing now something here in our chat, because I was also pushed by this Schweißfurt Foundation in Germany into making a very brief explanation. And I don't know if you can open this, but this is a link, and it's I didn't have a lot of words to explain it, and they even shortened it. So I tried to explain at least what this Big Friendly Giants game is about. And I mean, this is really kind of the flagship project. Yes, the ARK can be doing more, but the question is really if we need to explain everything in the very beginning. Can you open this link, Hans?
Yeah.
Yes, it's open. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, but this is a huge burden to me also. It's like a Gordian knot, no? If you work for such a long time on a project and you are driven to implement it, but you struggle to explain, and then you do an elevator pitch or something, and like, well, it's not that easy. And if you do it like Lucas does it, then people just say, yeah, so and how do you do this?
Yeah, and then
Yeah, you know, like in the past, I tried to explain more, and then I like really got lost in it. And then I have my very good friend, like we saw each other after 5 years. Like he tapped me on the shoulder, said, "You're gonna have to work on that elevator pitch." I was like, okay.
but I mean, your approach is more dialogue based. So people ask, what do you mean? How does it work? And then you can explain, and then there will be more questions. And maybe this can be a quite good approach to get the conversation started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would be good to get like a marketing expert into the team.
Yeah, it's something that we need to work on. We have also written quite a few briefings for funding organizations, which I think are also helpful. And probably we need now for spring, we need to look into this again. It's good to have this feedback. Yeah, Hans, maybe we can catch up on this. And what we did before Christmas is that we sat down here as a team. We're actually standing, I believe, and we did a sort of a VPC, a value proposition canvas. And we're asking ourselves what value we really deliver to, for example, a school. So it was focused on schools. But I have to say, I didn't really have a very kind of smooth feeling with this, because it was also very brainy. And I don't know if this is really the way forward. But that's what people usually do now, value proposition canvas. Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to overstretch the call with other things. I'm taking this also kind of as an assignment to work on communication, because the tech part, the features that we're gonna implement over the next well, in this quarter, they are pretty clear, and communication is going to be very crucial also for the spring, to talk to schools and other stakeholders. That's it. Final round. Any idea? Any sharing? Get us a communication expert. Actually, I have one more good news. So we were not only invited to participate in a regional arts project with the BFG solution, or with the BFG game. I was also introduced to a funding expert, somebody who is basically crunching the words to apply for funding. And let's see, it takes usually 10%. So I'll see, but this is really a very important competence, to crunch such projects into something that can be easily understood and read also by a jury. I hope that this is gonna really unfold. He hasn't picked up our case yet, so yeah, he's very
professional fundraiser. Might be a good stage to really take advantage of that now.
Yeah, and I'm happy to pay 10%. Whatever it is. All right. So with this good news, I think, Any goodbye words? When do we see each other again? We need to still go into the quiz. You want to do it? You're going to share the screen?
No, you have the presentation. I don't really have a presentation.
So I need to go into presentation. Okay, so am I sharing the right screen?
Not yet.
Yeah, you can see the
So
way.
this is kind of strange. I have another presentation open, intro. So then we here to come. Is it there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So
Okay, so it's Eurasian bullfinch.
Yeah.
yeah,
Ah, Bullfinch. How is that called in German?
Impel.
Gimple. Ah, that's the Gimple. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know there is this famous free software DTP desktop publishing tool called GIMP.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's derived from this.
I'm not sure.
tool.
So the German word is actually a bit deceiving because it doesn't really tell you what it is. I mean, if you are a bit of a birder, you realize then that the beak is a typical finch beak. No, from the beak, we can derive that it likes to break up hard stuff and eats kernels. And we of course we have other finches here, but this finch is currently a vagrant, as you call them, because it's so cold and it's snowy that he kind of extends his alpine habitat to St. Pölten. And I was not sure. I thought like can't be here, but Elena has confirmed with a second sighting that the bird is currently a vagrant, and he moved into our local pine forests, where he definitely finds some food. And I guess it's really bloody cold in the Alps with the wind and the snow. So a bit of not a climate fugitive, but a winter fugitive. Yeah, and it's a super colorful bird. No, we don't have that many such colorful birds, so it's a striking sight. All right. Yeah. Next in the next call, maybe in one of the next two calls, we're going to talk about some very colorful Roman birds, but that's a different bioregion. We'll see about that. The next call is on February 21st.